What's up, guys? Plush here, and today I just wanted to talk to you guys about this new thing that I'm kind of working on now. That I've been like, so this is basically like a story idea that I've been like thinking of since I was like really little, and I'm hoping that I can like get it into a manga one day. But right now I'm writing it in like novel format, and yeah, basically it's like a story. It's like your typical like shonen story, but I'm like trying to add like better writing to it. Like I'm trying to create my own story. And as the title of this video suggests, the title of the story is called Ikaris. So the name Ikaris it's a place in the story. I'm not gonna tell you too much about it. This video is gonna serve as like a launch type thing, where it's like just me letting you guys know about this idea to like anyone who's like watching us. So if you're like interested, I'm gonna leave chapter 1 in the description because I am finished writing chapter 1. I'm actually on chapter 4 right now, but I do want to hear you guys' feedback on it and stuff, like, because I want this to like actually be like a successful thing in the future that I can like turn into a manga. I'm inspired by people like Corey Kenshin. He's creating his own manga. He has like he's rich and stuff, and he has like the connects to make a manga. I'm just a kid who's like still in school, barely like makes any amount of money and doesn't have a lot of clout. So this is just an idea that I hope gets like picked up in the future, or like I can expand it somewhere. Maybe I can have somebody like make a manga for me, and I'm just the writer, right? Like how Corey Kenshin does. But with that backstory out of the way, I feel like I should tell you guys like where I got this idea from. So this idea is something that stems from like my own like personal want to like make my own thing, because I'm a very creative guy, I would say. I'm constantly like thinking of new things. Like even for this channel, I'm like making thumbnails for videos that are gonna come out in the future every day. I made a couple thumbnails today actually. I just have like a notes app with a bunch of thumbnails in it for future videos with scripts and stuff. So I would say I'm a pretty creative guy. And yeah, this video is just this story is just another product of like my creativity. Um, this is like this is a kind of a, it's like the baby of a thing that I was working on before actually. A story called Esper 100. I was working on it with my friend Wave Not Something, whose voice you heard in the Johto vs Gojo video. He's in the room right now, but he's doing his own thing. Wave, 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 wave. Not something.
Yeah.
Say hi.
What's up, guys? Hey, guys, it's me. We're not something here. Best-selling author.
Yeah, I'm talking about Esper 100.
Oh.
Okay, so yeah, we tried to make this thing called Esper 100 with a couple other people. It didn't go well. It's still not going well. Probably not gonna finish it until like a long time if we ever do finish it. But this story is kind of like the product of that, like engaging like creative processes with people in story writing. Like I enjoy doing that. So I was like, you know what? This thing is cool, but like I want to kind of do my own thing, outside of like other people's like opinions and stuff. I wanted to just be purely like based on me, right? So that's where this idea came from. Like the different anime and shows and stuff that like inspire me, like typical shonen stuff like DBZ, like Rip Toriyama, like One Piece, Bleach and stuff. This power system is very similar to Bleach. You'll hear about it later in this video, but like yeah, I'm just a kid who's watching stuff, taking in media, and engaging in creative processes, and I'm just creating my own thing, right? So with that out of the way, I want to talk about like actually what this series is about. I'm not gonna tell you like I'm not gonna spoil the series to you. For anyone who actually is interested in reading it. But I will tell you like the background of it, right? So, this series, it takes place in like my fictional universe that I've created in the fictional town. It's like reminiscent of Japan, kinda, but I'm not gonna outright say it's in Japan because I know that people get mad when when you're not from Japan but you write stuff that's in Japan. I think it's called cultural appropriation. I'm never gonna be the person who does that. I'm not gonna try to claim a place that I'm not from. But I'm inspired by Japanese people and what they do. So I'm gonna try to that's gonna be seen in like what I do in my art. Oh, I don't want to say art, but like brainstorming. Like yeah, what I'm inspired by, that's what you're gonna see in the things that I create, right? So I'm not trying to be rude. The place isn't outright Japan, but it's like Japan adjacent. It has a typical like how the houses in Japan are, and those long streets where everyone walks, and how the schools in Japan are set up, and having school uniforms, kind of like that. But it's different. It's my own thing still. So the main character's name is Anoru Aishiru, or Aishiru. Anoru Aishiru. Japanese sounding name, I know. Uh, I put a lot of time on this name. He has had a bunch of different names before, but I think this is the name that sticks to me. He's a part of the Aishiru family. His mom's name is Eiko. His brother's name is Akiro, and his sister's name is Ira. So this kid is like he's kind of like he's a quiet guy, right? He doesn't overexert himself too much, and he's kind of a nerd. He gets picked on in school sometimes, and he doesn't have a lot of friends. But he doesn't let him affect it. He doesn't let it affect him that much. He's like a normal, like chill guy, right? Uh, One day he stumbles upon like this noise, this ringing noise that's in his ear. It's a reoccurring thing that he keeps hearing, right? And then one day something goes off, and he starts seeing like spirits and stuff. He starts seeing spirits. Uh, for a nerd like him who's like really sciencey, he doesn't think like ghosts and spirits, those things. He doesn't think they exist, right? So when he first sees them, he thinks he's like his mind's playing tricks on him, right? Because anybody would think that if you like saw some spirits, you'd probably think you like ate something wrong. Like somebody put something in your drink, right? But no, the spirits are very real. There's like a giant monster attacking. It's I kind of just spoiled something that was in chapter 3. I'm supposed to be only talking about chapter 1. So chapter 1 is just like the establishment, right, of his family and stuff. So yeah, I'm not gonna tell you about like his brother and his sister and stuff. Just read chapter 1 in the description, bro. Just do it, right? So the power system, um, it's gonna revolve around. It's kind of inspired by. It's a combination of Bleach and Dan to Dan. So the power system revolves around these creatures. They're called the Ikari, right? Remember the title named Ikaris? That's the place they come from. The Ikari. They're like mythical creatures that watch over the human realm, and like they're spirits. They're the evil spirits, right? Well, they're not evil. They can be evil. I'm spoiling. Okay. So the power system revolves around like they have the ability to combine with humans. Well, first of all, I want to establish that this power system is like really spiritual based and like psychic and stuff in nature. So it has a lot to do with like the soul and like astral planes and stuff. So these people, they exist on a higher plane, and they come down to earth sometimes to defeat these monsters. I think I named the monsters, but I forgot what I named them right now because it's been a while since I actually touched this story. But yeah, they come down to defeat these monsters, right? Because once a person dies with like, if they're an evil person and they die, they become a monster, and the people, they come down, they clean up from what these monsters do, right? Uh, Sometimes like it's not supposed to happen, but they can fuse with humans, and humans will gain access to their abilities. So I feel like that's enough, right? Uh, you can fuse in an Akari, and you will gain their abilities and stuff. And then I plan on introducing a second power system, which is basically just like Key from Dragon Ball, where like you can manipulate your own soul essence. I'm thinking of calling it Shi, but I'm planning on making it more versatile and stuff. And I plan on making like so that having any Hikari isn't the only thing that makes you unique. I plan on giving everyone like unique property to their Shi. So like somebody might be fire, somebody might be water based or something. Somebody might be like a healer or something. You know, I'm still planning it, right? So yeah, that's the power system. Uh for like future plans and stuff, like for the future, I think I don't know if I should say like future outerverse or future inverse. Inverse is basically gonna be like a hero's journey and stuff. He's gonna like go through a bunch of trials and tribulations, and his task is to just stay true to his morality and stay as the person he is. Now, obviously, he's gonna go through transformation, yeah, but like the end, he's gonna have to, stay who he is, right? Outerverse, I plan on making a sequel to this. Actually, um, I'll leave it at that though. The main villain of this, that's also something that I'm not gonna talk about until. So what I'm gonna do is for this video, this is just a launch video where I tell you guys like about the series, right? I'm gonna release another video talking about chapter 2 specifically, and in that video, I'm only gonna be talking about chapter 2, right? And then after that, I'm gonna be talking about chapter 3, then chapter 4, then chapter 5. So like the main villain and all that stuff, you won't hear about it until the chapter I introduce him, or even reveal him to be the main villain. But every once in a while I'm gonna have a minor like antagonist, like typical shonen does, and I'll tell you about that person, right? So this video is getting kind of long. Let me try to end it off. So wait. Yeah, that's pretty much it, right? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for listening. If you listened to the whole thing, I know I sound kind of awkward. This is my first video that's unscripted, and I'm not doing any editing on this video. I'm just gonna get on here and talk, and well, I already did talk. See, I'm an awkward guy. I'm dragging this out. I'm just gonna end it off here. Thanks for watching, and yeah, Plush, just cue the outro.